Historic figures everyone should know. By History as Biography. Eleanor Roosevelt, an iconic figure in American history, emerged not only as a towering presence but as a steadfast advocate for civil rights, social justice, and international diplomacy. Born on October 11, 1884, in New York City, she would go on to become one of the most influential women of the 20th century. Her impact on her nation, and indeed the world, was profound, reshaping attitudes and policies across various domains. Eleanor Roosevelt's family background was a blend of privilege and adversity. Her nationality, American, was a point of pride for her throughout her life. She was born into the prominent Roosevelt family, which had already produced a U.S. President, Theodore Roosevelt, her uncle. However, this familial connection did not shelter her from the storms of life. Eleanor's early life was marked by tragedy. Her mother, Anna Hall Roosevelt, died of diphtheria when she was only 8 years old. Her father, Elliot Roosevelt, struggled with alcoholism and addiction, eventually succumbing to these demons when Eleanor was just 9. These early experiences forged her resilient spirit and instilled a deep sense of empathy, as she could relate to the suffering of those less fortunate. As a child, Eleanor was shy and insecure, feelings that persisted into her adulthood. She attended Allenswood Academy, a girls' boarding school in England, where she developed self-confidence and a passion for social justice issues. These formative years abroad broadened her horizons and exposed her to European culture and politics. Upon returning to the United States, Eleanor's life took a significant turn when she married her distant cousin, Franklin D. Roosevelt, in 1905. The Roosevelt name would soon become synonymous with American politics, as Franklin embarked on his journey towards becoming the 32nd President of the United States. Their marriage was complex, marked by both love and strife. Eleanor and Franklin had 6 children together, yet their marriage faced significant challenges. Franklin's political career often took precedence, and Eleanor struggled with his infidelity. However, she chose to remain married, guided by her belief in the sanctity of marriage and a deep sense of duty to her family. During her years as the First Lady, Eleanor redefined the role. She did not confine herself to the traditional duties of hosting social events and decorating the White House. Instead, she used her position as a platform to advocate for the underprivileged. She held press conferences, wrote a newspaper column, and traveled the country, listening to the concerns of everyday Americans. One of Eleanor Roosevelt's most significant contributions was her unwavering commitment to civil rights. Her advocacy for racial equality set her apart in a time when segregation and discrimination were deeply entrenched in American society. She was a tireless champion for the African American community, even when this was politically unpopular. She resigned from the Daughters of the American Revolution, DHAR, in 1939 when they refused to allow African American contralto Marian Anderson to perform at their Constitution Hall. Instead, Eleanor arranged for Anderson to perform at the Lincoln Memorial in an event that drew an integrated audience of 75,000 people. This act of defiance against segregation was a powerful statement. Additionally, Eleanor played a crucial role in the formation of the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African American military aviators in the U.S. Armed Forces. Her advocacy helped pave the way for greater racial integration in the military. Eleanor's commitment to human rights extended beyond the borders of her own nation. Her role in shaping the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was instrumental in laying the foundation for international human rights law. In 1945, President Harry S. Truman appointed her as a delegate to the United Nations General Assembly. As chair of the UN Human Rights Commission, Eleanor was the driving force behind the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948. This landmark document set out, for the first time in history, fundamental human rights that should be protected and respected by all nations. She did not merely advocate for these rights in the abstract. She traveled the world, promoting the Declaration's principles and engaging with leaders from diverse cultures. Her efforts helped to shape global perceptions of human rights and fostered international cooperation. Eleanor's commitment to public service remained unwavering during World War II. While her husband, Franklin, led the nation through the war, she toured military bases, met with soldiers, and provided comfort to the wounded. Her radio broadcasts, known as My Day, reached millions of Americans and offered a perspective on the war effort from a woman's point of view. After Franklin's death in 1945, Eleanor continued her political career, serving as the first U.S. delegate to the United Nations and as the chair of the UN Commission on Human Rights. In this role, she played a pivotal role in drafting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is often considered her crowning achievement. Eleanor Roosevelt's legacy is enduring and multifaceted. Her advocacy for civil rights paved the way for the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s, and her work on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights laid the groundwork for the modern human rights movement. Her influence extended beyond her time as First Lady and her involvement in the United Nations. She remained active in political and social causes throughout her life. She was a prolific writer, authoring numerous books, articles, and essays on topics ranging from politics to personal development. Eleanor Roosevelt passed away on November 7, 1962, at the age of 78. Her death marked the end of an era, but her legacy lived on. She left behind a wealth of writings, including her autobiography, The Autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt, which continues to inspire readers.